everyone, my name is Nubu Girl. This is another part of our Dream Home series. I know I took a break from it for quite a while because we had some life changes, and sometimes when life starts giving you lemons, you just gotta stomp them and hope for lemonade. So I took a break because I just needed it, I guess, to mentally take a break from it because there were some hiccups in our dreams of home ownership. But since then, those hopes and dreams have come back to fruition. Like, things are getting better. So we're back on the hunt. We're back into looking for what we're looking for as far as a home goes. And yeah, super excited. Can't wait to, I guess, cross that finish line finally. So I'm back at the series. Gonna go back to looking at some different homes that we found along the way and adding some new ones to the repertoire, so to speak. So this is basically the layout or the floor plans they gave us. I'm trying to match. You guys saw it just a second ago. And the bathrooms were kind of funky, so I figured since they were specific to the bedrooms, I would lay them out first and then just kind of match it around it. We all know it's not going to be exact because Sims replication is about, I would say, 90%, because little tweaks here and there and things you just cannot do in Sims, but it's okay. We're really close to, I guess, duplication, so to speak. The funny thing is like, if this were my house, like if I were drawing this house out, I'm not sure, I know they put the doors like that for a reason. I would actually put them on the inside crook area and have them face each other. That's just me. I could be a little strange, but that's just something I would do personally. So yeah, just back at it, trying to get this blueprint done, which can be a little time consuming trying to match a blueprint, but it's honestly kind of fun to do if you've never done it. I suggest giving it a whirl and seeing just how good, bad, ugly, indifferent, or great you are at making a blueprint. I always say the bathrooms and the closets are probably the biggest challenge. Because you just want to get them right, and it's a little awkward because, you know, walk-in showers, like the ones that have, you know, no door or whatever and tile, is the kind we're kind of looking for and the kind we're going for. And that's what made this house so amazing, is that it had my soaker tub, which is something I want, but it had the walk-in shower that my husband wants, and it had the dual shower heads, basically. The only thing I didn't put, because I wasn't quite sure how to do it, there's a bench in the shower in the actual home itself. So just trying to make these, because it's a taller wall to give, I guess, tranquility or peace to whoever's in the tub, and then a shorter wall so you can kind of see out over it and talk to somebody if they come inside or whatever. But yeah. And then double sinks, and I was like, oh, that's not right, because there was a vanity thing in the middle. Also not quite sure how to do a vanity. So while you're seeing a space and while there is going to be a counter space there, in the actual plans themselves, that middle part is actually a little bit lower and is open, not closed, to where you can put a seat there. I thought about maybe trying to put a table and stuff, but I thought it would just kind of look funky monkey, so I just put a counter space, and that's fine. Like I said, Sims is, you're never going to quite get the exact same thing you're looking for. So you guys will probably notice that I stopped with the bathroom and moved on. I actually edited that part out, but I spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out what mirrors I wanted over the bathroom sink, and I was getting frustrated. And I decided, you know what, I will just stop and I'll come back to that, because I think with gaming in general, I mean, especially when you're building and it's supposed to be relaxing, it's supposed to be your joy, if you're getting frustrated or you can't find what you're looking for, there is never any shame in pausing, like stopping the search and doing something else and then coming back to it, because Half the time what'll happen is I'll get frustrated and I will stop, and then like a minute or two or 5 minutes later or something, all of a sudden it'll just like bam, it'll just wake up and I'll realize, oh, this is what I could do instead. And then I have the solution. So easy peasy. I always say never be afraid to hit the reset button or the pause button or the stop button. Because then, inspiration strikes and new things happen and it gets exciting. And yeah, some of these new pieces are a little frustrating, but I get used to them. Plus, they're really useful and they're really neat, and you can kind of change them up and they all click together and they're like one uniform piece, and I love it. I took the wall back down because I realized it's easier to decorate and do the closet if I can see what the heck I'm doing. So I slid the door over to the right hand side. I'll plop it back on once I'm done with the closet. I was like, what am I doing? Easier if I can see. So just doing some basic decor. I'm not gonna stuff it with 10 million things, at least not yet. I don't think I'm going to. Kind of keeping it clean and basic, at least a little clean and basic with a little full. I wish they would actually have more guys options. Did anybody notice that a lot of these hanging clothes options are women's clothes? Like, there's not really much in the guys department. I felt a little bit bad about that because I kind of wanted to stick my husband's clothes in there too. But it's okay. Alright, so frustrating. I realized I didn't put the lights far enough apart, and closet is done, sort of. Not painted yet, but done as far as, decoration goes. So yay, closet done. So blueprints can be a little funky, and I realized that all need to be slid over just a little bit. I honestly was thinking earlier that closet was really tiny, that hallway closet. So just adjusting a few things, and I'm going to build the laundry room first before putting it into the blueprint because it's a small room on the blueprint, so I figured I would make sure the Sims stuff that I wanted fit in there first and then build the walls around it. Sometimes it's the easier way to do it in the Sims, honestly. But yeah, just kind of fiddling through and knowing that there's a couple of items from the laundry pack that I wanted to stick in there, which I know it was kind of a simple pack, but honestly, I love some of the shelving and stuff that came in that pack. I think they're so cute. But doing laundry in The Sims can be really rough. Does anybody else get excited about doing laundry in The Sims, then you realize this takes 10 million years? But yeah, so let's see. Basically, the broom always goes in the laundry room for me. I was trying to figure out what else to stick in there, and I thought ironing board would be a good idea. But I also knew I wanted the shelving above the washer and dryer, the one with the hangers and stuff that I think are so cute. So I realized I would need to stick the ironing board in a different location, and I'm like, oh yeah, back wall. I hadn't put that up yet. And there we go. There's the cute little laundry room. It's tiny, petite, but it has everything it needs in it. It's even got a space to hang clothes while you're in there doing laundry. That's one of the things I really loved about this layout of this house, is that even though it's a little quirky, there are tucked in pieces for everything you need in the household. So it makes it really great. And back here there's it was shelving, but it didn't really specify what kind of shelving on the blueprint, so I thought I would put kind of stuff that would work well for me, which is going to be the kitchen shelving, which is probably where we'll end up sticking the rice cooker and maybe my Instapot. And then, of course, there's going to be a back door there, so I know for a fact that I'm going to end up putting the dog leashes, or maybe even the dog food can go in those cabinets. I don't know. You know how it is. You got all these grand ideas until you move in, and you're like, oh, I know what I'm going to put back here. Yeah, so keeping the leashes in the back door and everything will make everything nice and easy because my kids tend to be the ones that walk the dogs. Of course, we are going to have a fenced-in yard, but I do have one dog. Her name is Annabelle. She is my baby. If you've ever come on stream and watched me on Twitch, she comes and visits all the time. I even have a clip on there of my sweet baby who likes to visit our viewers. But she is a bull in a china shop, and she has to go on a leash even with fencing, because if there is a rabbit or another human being or something goes on the other side of that fence, we are always worried that she will just basically bulldoze the fence with her head. And she has she's a mixed pit bull breed. We honestly don't know what she is. She's pure mutt, but she definitely has some of the pit in her. And she has a very hard noggin. So I'm always very concerned that she will just completely just fly through a fence if it so behooves her. So yeah, so just doing a little bit of adjusting here, making sure the kitchen's walkable, easy accessible, and looks cute. And I was questioning the dip in that master, but if you look at the blueprints, it has a dip there. So now the dip makes sense because you can walk around the kitchen island. I love some of these new kitchen items that came with cottage living. I think they're really adorable, and it brings a lot of the personality that me and the hubs kind of have. What we want to do is, with our house, we're trying to find not just a house, not just any old house. We're trying to find a house with a little bit of acreage, because we kind of want to do our own little homestead. Basically some chickens, maybe some goats, and garden. I have a garden here, but we live in the middle of the city, so it's not a very fancy garden. It's kind of like those felt round circles you can buy. They're like 36 inches wide or something like that, which work really great because where we live now, our landlord does not want us to dig up the dirt or dig up the ground. So in comes the felt gardening circles, which work great short term. We are probably still going to do above ground gardening, but we're going to build our own gardening bins and then make them deep, but make them as tall as we are, because the round circle felt ones are great, but we still have to get down on our knees and get down low. And we're trying to plan for the future, and knowing that we're going to be getting older, and as time is going to progress, it's going to be harder and harder for us to be getting down on our knees and tending the garden. Also, it's just better for your back to not be all the way down in there doing the garden and stuff. It's better for your back to be able to sit there and garden from even height. So plus, I just think they're really cool, and you can build in basically nutrients into your garden by putting like wood and mulch. Not mulch. What am I trying to think of here? Wood and other types of items in the bottom of the growers. Sorry, I had to pause there for a minute because apparently coughing was a thing. The compost is what I was thinking of. You can weave compost in easier with standing garden, at least in my opinion, because it's just deeper, so you can get more woven in there. And then you can also grow larger plants too, ones that turn into bushes and or trees, and bigger, because we want to have enough to feed us for the month. Basically, we want to be able to be sustainable with our own garden without having to go out and go to the grocery store for vegetables and herbs. So interesting stuff coming in our future, and that's what our dream is. And I love these country vibes because I am a country girl. I grew up on a farm, and I absolutely love it. I really wanted to put this there. It didn't quite fit, so I ended up putting it over here instead. And I think that's the one thing about these houses, even though this is not the biggest house, space and finding shelving and a place for everything is really important in a house that is smaller. So, because the kitchen is not huge, it's smaller, and there's going to be a dining room right here as well as a den. So it's all very compact in a manner of speaking. It is nice size. It's not by any stretch of the imagination a tiny home or anything, but it's not, a ginormous house, even though it is a technically 5 bedroom. And people question me all the time, why are you getting a 4 or 5 bedroom? One, I want my own office. I now have my own office in the home that we were renting because one of my other kids have moved out. So dynamics are changing a bit. But I want my own office because it's quiet and it's peaceful and I can record and do whatever I want here. And if I decide I can't sleep at 3 a.m., me coming in and playing video games or making a recording is not going to wake up the household or the husband or disturb my dogs who do not like nighttime shenanigans. Annie, who we've just talked about, she is night blind to the fact where if she can't make out who you are, she gets cranky. So it's always best to acknowledge who you are when you enter a room, because if she doesn't know, she'll be like, bad people bad. So, and trying to find the perfect fireplace, because the floor plan said optional fireplace for this one, and we definitely want a fireplace because, once again, living off the land, natural living, homesteading, we want to minimalize our use of like AC and heater as much as possible. So in the winter, if we could just have a fire for the household, and heat up the house with it, then, it would be amazing. It would be awesome. That, we always want the built-in bookshelves. We're definitely going to have those. They'll probably be flush with the fireplace, but as you know, with Sims, it's a little hard to sometimes find that flush. My husband loves these little round dip chairs like this. He's been trying to buy some, and I keep telling him no. That when we get our final house, he can pick out whatever chairs he wants. But until then, and we've also been trying to be careful not to buy too much stuff currently because we want to decorate the house when we move into it. I think that's one of the main things we really liked about this house, is that it kind of gave a separate den area that either the hubs or the kids could kind of hang out in and give them a little bit of different space than just the living area. And you'll see that the size changes just a tad because we have to adjust as we go along. You'll see it here, actually. But trying to match Sims to a blueprint can be a little complicated every now and again, but it is doable. It's just a little bit interesting. So you can see the den got a little bit bigger here because we had to match it up with the same length of the house as the master and the master bath. And I love this kitchen, and I didn't think, when I first saw this house online, and me and the hubs were talking about it, I hated the kitchen. I was like, ooh, but it's got a horrible kitchen. I'm not going to be able to cook in there. It's not good. But then, when you go see it in person, it's like, it just feels different. Like, the bathroom feels bigger, the kitchen feels bigger, and the really cool thing that you can't really duplicate in The Sims too much, the kitchen island is 10 times more magnificent than what you're seeing here on this video. It's got so many places for storage and compartment. It's amazing. So this bathroom just kind of comes together a little bit because we decided storage is important in our bathroom, because right now our bathroom it's a cluttered mess where we have boxes outside of the bathroom in our bedroom with labels of what's in them, and then boxes inside the closet with labels of what's in them. And so if I need a specific object or a specific thing for what I'm gonna go do in the bathroom, like take a hot bath or do a facial scrub or whatever, our current bathroom has like no storage, like zero storage. Like, it's a floating sink and a toilet and a shower, and there's no shelves anywhere in that entire bathroom. Like, how I still can't wrap my brain around how a bathroom has no shelving. I mean, we're lucky it has a towel rack and a toilet dispenser, toilet roll dispenser. So, I mean, I guess we're lucky in those aspects, but Jiminy Christmas, how do you have a bathroom with no shelving whatsoever? So that we've discovered from living in our current rental home, that is a very big and important thing to us, is that we need to have some sort of shelving in the bathroom. Storage, where we can keep things organized. We've decided that like any storage over by the bathtub is probably going to be more my stuff, my more girly items like my bath salts and, you know, scrubs and stuff like that. And then, yeah, so, because he's like, I'm not ever using that tub. The bedroom, we were trying to decide whether we want to have his own music room or whether his music stuff's just going to stay in the bedroom. We're still very much undecided. But the really cool thing is we could get, well, we already have a storage unit that you can, you know, you buy those little storage sheds and you kind of just traipse them along with you wherever you're going. We've owned it for a couple of years now. It's in great shape. But we could fit it out to be bigger and with insulation and put an AC in there for him. And it could be his official, like, private music space where he could just sit out there and do his own music thing. Unfortunately, it is a smaller storage shed, so we also contemplated getting one of the larger ones and decking it out with, like, a stage, and when I say stage, I mean like a step-up ramp where the drummer could sit and he could actually have full-fledged band practice. Not 100% sure on that yet. So these are all ideas and things we're thinking about as we're looking at these houses and as we're trying to decide what we want to do, you know, for our permanent home. An office for me is non-negotiable. After I got this room that I'm currently in, after my eldest son moved out, after he left and I got to take over this room as my office, I was like, I'm never going back. I will always have an office. And I know you guys saw me putting a lot of like crafting items in there. I've started doing a lot more crafting than I used to before I had my own office. So I figured I would just pick up on that and start doing a lot more, you know, as time progresses. So trying to plan for the future as far as that office goes. I like having my green screen permanently behind me. It's something I don't have to fiddle with or mess with or take down or put up, etc., etc. And that is the closest thing we have in The Sims to a streaming, like, desk, and it's very much in the shape of what my desk is now. My desk is it's like an L. It's a little more of a straight L, like a side of a square, but it works. It takes up the space that it needs to as far as The Sims goes. I could always just put together two desks and see what that looks like. But I figured for sanity's sake, for Sims, I would just leave it as it is. I love these new furniture pieces that came with Dream Home Decorator. They're so versatile and they're so clean and modern. I find myself using them more and more for a lot more of my Sims decorative stuff, for more of my builds. So I'm going to be doing more than just the Dream Home series on my YouTube channel. Now that I have my own office and things are getting better as far as me changing over to full-time streaming and editing, and I'm just going to be doing a lot more on YouTube. You guys are going to see more content, and it's going to go beyond just building too. I have some Let's Plays that I'm going to be doing, and because I do enjoy playing The Sims, not just building. So I figured kind of both aspects is going to be happening. I'm really excited for all the transitions that's going to be coming in the channel, and I'm really hoping you guys are going to enjoy coming along the ride. I realized here that this stupid, I cannot have like the house be uneven. If I'm going to have a porch, the porch needs to be even. Like, that was driving me crazy, so I fixed that. Because the porch is an add-on, by the way. It's not something that comes with the house, so it's something that we are having built for the house. And as I mentioned earlier, we're really looking into doing self-sustaining things, and I've been working on gardening for the past 2 years. I've got those little felt gardeners because we're not allowed to tear up our current, yard because of the landlord. But when we own our own place, I can do whatever suits my fancy as far as gardening goes. And we're hoping to have at least an acre or two to be able to garden on, if not more. If we get 5 acres or more, then we're definitely going to spread out and expand, and it's gonna get really exciting. But 1 or 2 acres will give us our small garden and chickens, which is what we really want. And we just want to be more self-sustaining, and also I just love fresh vegetables, fresh fruit. It's there's nothing like growing it yourself and eating it. And after gardening for the past 2 years, we finally found some of the plants we really enjoy eating. And then I realized while laying all of this stuff down, it is still cold out, so nothing looks pretty right now. Like, my entire Sims build, it looks so ugly as far as plant goes. I should have turned on a different season to build in, but I was already here, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna lay it out, and I will give you guys a peeky pie of what it's gonna look like in a better season. So I mean, like, it's cold right now, and it's still technically on the edge of winter currently, and spring is starting to think about coming in. Where I live, spring usually starts right around March 20th or so. So we're already prepping the planters and everything to get going for the garden. And we're trying to plan them in a way that if we get our house before the season starts or in the middle of the season, that the plants can possibly be moved. Because like I said, they're in planters. They're huge planters though, so it would probably take either 3 or 4 people to lift the planters. We're not sure how we're going to do it yet. But at the same time, we may not have our house by then. So if we don't, which I really don't think we're going to. I think it's going to be more like a June/July thing. And if that's the case, that's no big deal. We'll already be in full swing as far as gardening goes. And we'll have basically missed some of this season as far as summer plants. We also want to make sure we have solar panels. Our entire back porch roofing is going to be solar panel. We're going to have, dew collectors is what we have in The Sims, but there's actually a really cool system that we found that we're going to use. And we also found an indoor hydronic system too that we're really excited about, where we can keep our herbs and stuff all year long. So this is just what it's going to look like. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this build. This is our more along the lines of what we're looking for in a house. So I'd really love to know what you guys think, what you guys would change. Do you think homesteading or having your own larger farm slash chickens and self-sustaining energy and water is crazy? Do you think it's kind of interesting, cool? Also, what do you think of these kitchen colors? I changed the backsplash at least 15 times, so I thought it made it pop a little bit, and it was a little bit similar hue to the yellow, but a little bit different. So oh, and all of those blank pictures, that's where I would put, of course, pictures of the family, the kids, the dogs, etc. Anyway, I really hope you guys have liked this build. Oh, and if you have any ideas or thoughts on a music room for my hubs, let me know. Or do you just think this house isn't quite meant for us? Do you think we should get something with 1 more room? What do you guys think? Ooh, and yeah, I'm super excited. I hope you guys like this build. I hope to see you guys again soon. Please leave a like, a follow, or a subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And comments. I would love to hear feedback. I'm definitely listening. Maybe I can improve or change something next time around. If you guys have any thoughts, ideas, I'd love to hear them. Also, what do you guys think about yellow in the kitchen? I've heard different debates and different thoughts on that. So food for thought.
hope you guys liked it. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for coming. Ring that bell. All those really cool YouTube things. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.